Time again for Tim Talks. Today we're talking canning. You can see behind me, this is my little pantry that I've got stocked up with jars of diced tomatoes, and I've got some green sauce here made with tomatillas, some dill pickles, I've got some tomato juice, I've got some beans I canned. I keep them on hand. I never buy canned beans. I buy dry beans and make them myself like this. Got some chicken stock here and a bunch of other things, a bunch of other goodies that we've got going on here. Today we're going to can some vegetable stock. I'm going to show you how to do that step by step from beginning to end. Let's move over to the island so we can have a better look. Here I've got the base of my pressure canner. This is a 16 quart canner. You can see it's empty right now. When we do this, we're going to first start off by putting about 2 tablespoons of white vinegar in it. This will keep about that much. This will keep the calcium in the water from getting on the jars and sticking to it, so our jars come out nice and clean. I'm going to fill this up to the point that's indicated by the manufacturer with some hot water up to, and there's a little etching on the inside of the pot. I usually run my finger over, it's hard to see right there. About 1 inch of water goes into this before we put it on the stove. Just gonna let that fill up. Our water pressure is particularly low today, dear heavens. All right, we're here. Just about there. There we go. And we'll bring it back up here. Want to make sure we use the canning rack that comes with the canner. I'm going to stick that on in there. And then just one more step before we put this on the stove. We want to make sure that our seals are tightly fitting in there, that there's nothing going to go. A little rubber coming out there. No, we're good, I think. Anyway, and we also want to look through the pressure hole in the top to make sure that it's not blocked, and I can see light pretty clearly through that, so we're good. I'm going to take this over to the stove and turn it on and get it warmed up for when my jars come out of the dishwasher sterile and hot. Okay, now our jars are ready, so I'm going to fill them up with the hot stock here. I've got the boiling hot stock on the stove here. I'm going to ladle it into these quart jars. My canner can hold 7 of them. So this one I'm going to fill up. We want to get at least a 1/2 inch of head space. The head space is the distance from the rim of the jar to where the liquid and the food fill up to. It'll be about right here. Some people measure it. I do this pretty often, so I can kind of eyeball it here. Anyway, we see this. We want to give it a quick wipe, as always with this. And then I'm going to put a lid and a band on it. I gotta get over here in my dishwasher to grab those things. This will just take a second. Here we go. And I'm using here, I've got these reusable canning lids. I just really love these, and it makes the whole process just a little bit greener. Get the band on there, finger tight. That means don't tighten it too much, and then we're just gonna stick it right over here with its colleagues in the pressure canner, and you can see it's starting to fill up. When I've got it ready, we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, that made actually just about exactly 7 quarts, and I've left one out here because later on today I want to make yet another video where I make some soup with this beautiful vegetable stock. Now, the rest of the stock, however, I do want to seal up in the pressure canner, and so follow me over here and we'll see. Here we've got this right here. I'm going to turn up the heat, and as you can see, I've got my 6 jars sealed and ready to go in there. I'm going to secure the top. I hope I'm going to secure the top. It's a little warm, so it doesn't want to do this. There we go. All right. And turn the heat up on high. What we're looking for here at first, and this is always the procedure with pressure canning, is we're going to remove a bunch of the air from inside of the pressure canner. This is going to help build up the pressure. And what we're going to look for here is a plume of steam coming out of this vent right here on top. That's why we look through it at the beginning to make sure it's not plugged up. Anyway, I've got this on high heat. We're just going to wait a second while we wait for the steam to start coming out of there. And then, as see, it's already starting to happen. Got a little wisp going on there. And once we get a nice jet of steam going, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. Oh, we're getting there. Look at that. See? I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, and then we'll go for the next step. Okay, now we're just about to hit exactly 10 minutes. You can see how strong the plume of steam is coming out of here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my little bobber on top here, and I'm going to turn the heat back up to the highest setting. And here we're going to wait for that to start rocking gently. And when we do, I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes. You can see again my well-used pressure cooker and canner, and my bobber, which actually one time fell in the dish disposal and got in the garbage disposal rather, and got a little banged up. But still works wonderfully after all these years. It should start rocking just about any time now. The pressure is really built up in there. You can hear it begin to hiss now. Takes a few minutes. Part of the deal with pressure canning, as with much cooking, is just simply having the patience to wait for it to do what it's going to do. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the moment when our little topper is going to start rocking back and forth really any second. Oh, there it's starting now to just sort of swirl around. Here we go. And when it does, you can hear it kind of hiss a little bit. And when it gets going here, that's the moment we're going to set the timer to, and here we go, we'll set the timer to 35 minutes. And when that's done, we're going to turn it off and cool it down and let the pressure come back down to normal on its own before we open the canner. That process, once this is over, is going to take about 35 to 40 minutes at least. Okay, my timer just went off, so I'm going to turn that off. We're going to turn off the heat and move this off of that burner. And now we're going to let the pressure come down on its own. We're just going to wait it out here. This is probably going to take about 35 or 40 minutes. We'll come back when that's over with the next step. Okay, it's been about 35 or 40 minutes now, and we're ready to get the jars out of the canner. You can see they're nice and steamy. These reusable lids, we have to, when we pull them out, you're going to want to, again, we're going to be gentle with them. I'm going to set them on this stone surface here. We're going to want to tighten them up a little bit as we bring them out, just a little bit. You don't want to break the jars, of course. Just give it a little twist. I'm going to bring each one of these out, give it a little twist, and go on to the next one. We want these to stand about an inch or so apart. I'm going to let them cool completely before we put them away in the cupboard, of course. Anyway, there you have it. That's all there is on Tim Talks today for canning vegetable stock. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.